Welcome back, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to do a bunch of them today, so hopefully get a few of these out here and get my book together here. So, once again, thank you for your subscriptions. Please subscribe, like, comment. We're focusing on a lot of different things that can help you become a better person and hopefully kind of gain some ideas about things that people talk about, ideas that are out there, things to kind of help yourself both from a spiritual, a mental, and a physical type of perspective. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I got this as a question from someone. Participation awards and entitlement. Let's delve into this one a little bit. Participation awards and entitlement. All right, so in my years of raising children and being a lot of different types of things, I had played football in high school and college, and then I did some coaching with some younger people, and then also did some coaching with some real younger people, and coached different things over the years as far as football goes and some basketball and things like that over the years. And so one of the things that I have really feel strongly about and believe in is the idea of understanding whether you succeeded or not. And I think that's a key point when it comes to this. You understand that, yes, I did accomplish the goal, or no, I didn't accomplish the goal. And it's very black and white when it comes to that. And I think in life, that's an important type of thing, because if you have no goals, or you're not really totally sure, whether or not you're accomplishing or not, how do you know, whether or not the goal is finished and whether or not you really wanted that goal? And so it becomes a very, indecisive, very vague type of attitude a person accumulates because they're not really knowing whether they've won or lost. And I think this is a key type of thing that we're learned in society, that we have to know whether we've won or lost. And I just think it's black and white when it comes to that. Now, over the last number of years, and this didn't happen when I was a kid, but obviously over the last number of years, people have gotten into this habit of giving, awards and things for just participating. Now, I understand the fact that you're giving credit to people who give efforts, and I do that even in teaching a math class. I can give a person credit for trying a problem even though they didn't get it right. I can give some points out for them to make the effort. But the effort is what really matters. The participation itself is not something that, you should not be getting awards for participation. I just think that's ridiculous. I think when you look at the idea of participating, you're all participating. And yes, a person should get an indirect type of message saying, okay, it's great that you're doing this. But on the other hand, if you're just doing it and you're not really giving full effort and you're not trying, then you should not be getting awards just for participating. What that ends up doing is it tries to make people all equal across the board, no matter what kind of effort they put into it. And you need to reward effort, because if you don't reward effort, then people don't really appreciate things that they've accomplished. And guys, we've seen this happen so many times in our society, right? If you're given something for free, you don't appreciate it. That's the bottom line. You have to work for things to appreciate, especially in your own mind. And if you appreciate that down deep, I believe that inside of you, and I say it's God, but if you want to say it's a voice, whatever, however you believe in it, there's something that tells your conscious level, your unconscious level, that you deserve this. You worked for this. If you don't think you've worked for something, then it doesn't mean anything. That's why people win a lottery. 90% of them go broke, because they really haven't earned it. They haven't really worked for it. And they don't appreciate it because they really haven't worked for it. Free education. A lot of people never appreciate that, right? Body count, free sex, right? Right? You haven't worked for it, right? You really haven't had a relationship. So this is why I go back to the loss of energy, all these type of things. People don't value it, especially somebody who just basically wants to have a high body count. That's why these people struggle in their relationships, because they're giving things up for free, basically. Now, they don't see it that way, because they see like they're liberating themselves, and the males and females are liberating themselves so they can do anything they want. And in actuality, they're right about that. But in really real life, what happens is they're giving up things for free. And people don't appreciate those things. And that's why this is a very important thing to look at, because once you give things for free, it's valueless. You have to kind of earn it to put some value to it. And this is why we go back to this idea then, the people who get these participation awards and these kids grow up with this mentality, then grow up with an attitude of entitlement. That you should pay for my dinner, or you should be this way, right? Or, you need to look at me, and I'm the prize, right? Entitlement. And they're going to find some people who's, simp to that behavior. There's no doubt. Especially, if you're attractive, you're going to find a lot of suitors and people, especially when you're in your 20s, to be able to do that. But the problem with that is that, once again, you're not working for that. And that's why a lot of females, especially, they blow by the nice guys because they don't want to work in a relationship. All they just want to do is have fun. And I was 20 myself at one time, so I understand that. The trouble is, once you start hitting a certain age, and a lot of times people say it's 28, 30 years old, then all of a sudden, you're not as attractive, and the males and females struggle to get people looking at them, and all of a sudden now they have to work in a relationship, and now it becomes a lot more meaningful to them. That's why a lot of relationships struggle. And a lot of people who have given up, have high body counts, they struggle in relationships. Because once again, they've had the whole life of giving it up and not being able to really work at something. And it's almost like they're getting participation points for just being there, right? And that's the whole idea. And sometimes we're in a bad thing with society, and I've raised 2 daughters myself, and sometimes we look at society and people give people breaks because of looks, right? They look a certain way, and so they're almost getting a lot of things because they look attractive. Well, that's a dangerous cage you put yourself in, not realizing it, because now you're getting all these benefits because you really haven't worked at it. That's why guys also, when you look at things like when females and even males put makeup on, it's not the real person. And the person knows that down deep. And so their self-esteem is not very high, even though you may say they look beautiful. They're only looking beautiful because they have makeup on. It's not the real person. So whenever you look at people getting, credit for participation or awards for things that they really didn't earn, well, that person then it's not really a benefit to them. It's more of a problem, because that person hasn't learned how to actually achieve something by working hard and efficiently. And sometimes you don't have to work hard, but you have to work smart. And the idea then is you have to work at something to achieve it. And I think this is a lesson that's very difficult for a lot of people, especially younger people, is that you're going to have to learn how to achieve things and go through, obstacles and different types of things to achieve those type of things. And if you don't do that, and it comes very easy, you don't appreciate it. That's why high suicide rates, guys, are not in the people who are poor and the people who are struggling, but it's really the people who are, wealthy. And they have a lot of things, and they don't really kind of focus on, struggles, and they've never had a lot of struggles. And a lot of people tend to, have things come to them very easily. They don't know how it is to struggle, and because they don't know how to struggle, they struggle themselves, and they can't deal with it. And it may be shocking to kind of see, because, many of us, because we're going through our struggles with the journey. We basically have struggled through things and learned self-control. This is why self-control is an important type of thing. This is why the journey is an important type of thing. Because you're basically looking at trying to, kind of deny yourself. And when you're denying yourself, you're learning how to work on yourself and work for something. And that's why it's very gratifying to reach a certain point, whether it's 30 days, 90 days, or in a long streak like I am. I mean, it really makes it feel good, in the long run, that you really know you've accomplished something, which it took me 50 some years to do. So, but again, going back to the whole idea is that you have to really look at your own self-worth. and your confidence level. I go back to the 3 C's again, the model of communicate with control, control, confidence, communication. When you go back to those three, you realize that those people have to work on levels of control. And because you're working on it, then you gain the confidence. You're not going to gain confidence if someone gives you $1 million, even though it's nice to have. You go spend it, and you can enjoy things. You're not going to, unless you've earned the money in the long run, you're going to always have issues with it. Might be nice to enjoy, but it's not really something that's going to make you more confident. The retention is going to make you more confident because you're retaining energy, but you're also retaining your ability to know that I can do this, and your confidence level will go sky high. And I think we had a question about courage, and Oscar, maybe Oscar had a question, so thank you, Oscar, for that. But yes, you do get your fear and anxiety go a lot less because you're retaining, but not only because you're retaining, but because you're controlling yourself. You're working at improving yourself. And if you're working on improving yourself, now all of a sudden, now you appreciate it more. And you're going to continue doing it because you want to. And that's why, giving the awards out, kind of getting people to recognize, oh, you came, participate, thank you, and those type of things, all of a sudden gives a person a false sense of achievement because they really haven't achieved anything. And I think we have to separate those type of things out. And I know I'm old-fashioned on this idea and thought, but the reason why I believe people achieve is because they grow, they accomplish a goal, they move to the next one. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to compete with other people, because I think there's negative in that as well, especially negative competition. But what it does do is you're competing against only one person, and that's yourself. You're competing to become better and better. And that's why the best version of yourself is something you can work on. So we look at participation, guys. Never been in favor of that as a coach, as a dad. Never in favor of that. I think you have to appreciate people when they achieve things, and you have to give them recognition. But I don't think you have to do that every single person who actually participates, because it degrades to me the value of the achievement. And it also degrades the person, because you're not really kind of giving them, things because they're, they've achieved something or they've had a goal. Because what ends up happening is it gets people to the point where they don't want to have goals. What do I need a goal for? I'm going to get some kind of reward every time I do this. If I get a reward every time I do something, I'm not going to bother to try hard or participate, right? So the motivation of people goes way down, because you're not really giving them any kind of motivation. If they did that in business, everybody would be working the same job, and nothing would get done. There would be no innovation, no production, things like that, which is what people need to do. I mean, we are on this earth, in my opinion, to produce, to do the best we can to make this world a better place, whether it's to have offspring or to produce the land or to work on the land or to create things. We're here to make things better for the next generations. So, but, if you're getting points for participation, or you're getting, awards, things like that, and you're not really earning them, then that down deep. And that affects your whole confidence level too. All right, guys, so I hope I answered this one. I'm getting sun in my face here, so I'm going to end this one. And until next time, guys, battle on.